Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another daily dose of Double Masters 2022 spoilers. So we've reached the penultimate day of Double Masters spoiler season. We get the full set tomorrow, but Wizards gave us a big surprise on our second to last day of spoilers with the second most expensive card from the entire set showing up just a few minutes ago, which means we should probably jump right into it, start tier ranking these cards, talking about the value. Before we do, two quick reminders. Number one, if you need some Double Masters cards, or really any cards, you can snag them from our amazing sponsor, Card Kingdom, over at cardkingdom.com/MTGGoldfish. Number two, if you want to keep up on all the latest spoilers today, you should probably head over to mtgpreviews.com. You can sort them, filter them, all that good stuff. Anyway, with our sponsorship stuff out of the way, let's tier rank today's reprints from Double Masters 2022. So today we kick things off in the Double S tier with our second $100+ card of the set in Warrior's Oath. Warrior's Oath, extra turn, lose a game at the end of the turn. Similar cards are out there, but this is a $500 card at the moment. Very similar to Imperial Seal in that it's a Portal 3 Kingdoms card, one of the rarest sets in Magic. It was just not printed heavily, not open very much. So it's really hard to find these cards. And because of that, even though there's not a ton of demand for Warrior's Oath, the price is super high because the supply is just very restricted. So I think much like Imperial Seal, which was $800, currently $250, and I still think it hopefully is going to go lower than that. I think that we're going to see Warrior's Oath drop a lot, hopefully down under $100, maybe closer to $50. That is my hopes and prayers for this card, because we have a couple of good comparisons. There's actually two other cards that are really functional reprints. They are the exact same card. The first one is Final Fortune, which was printed a bunch of times. It was in Mirage, it was in several core sets, and that's like $15-$20. And then we have Last Chance, which is also from some low supply sets. A starter 99 in the original Portal, not Portal 3 Kingdom. The original Portal was a lot higher supply than Portal 3 Kingdoms, and that was around $50. So I think hopefully that's what we see with Warrior's Oath, thanks to this reprinting, dropping down under 100, maybe near $50. It is a card that sees a bit of play, like Obeka Commander decks really like these effects, but people don't normally play Warrior's Oath itself just because it's so expensive. Who wants to spend $500 on a Warrior's Oath to support their Obeka deck when there's two other versions of the card that are much cheaper? But now, if the price drops, I think maybe the demand goes up with it, as players are going to start adding this more to the Obeka decks or whatever. So definitely a solid reprint. Just don't get too caught up on its current $500 price tag, because that is not going to stick. It's gonna drop a lot, just like Imperial Seal, even considering all the supply issues with this set. In the A tier, one card today, Food Chain, which is a solid reprint. It's a CEDH staple. It shows up in Legacy. Sometimes there's Food Chain combo decks, currently around $40. The new art looking pretty sweet. In the B tier, we get a few options. Mael's Area, not a card that actually really sees play. Even in Commander, it doesn't see much play, although it is kind of a fun win the game card if you're playing some sort of big creature deck. It is a cool build around, but it's a card that's like $12 just because it's never been reprinted, and now it's over a decade old. Like, Shards of Alara was a long time ago now. It's easy to forget. So it's just slowly climbed up over the years of not being reprinted. It should drop down a ton thanks to this reprinting, like $2, $3, some very, very cheap price. Assassin's Trophy, Commander staple, Modern staple, Pioneer stable, great reprint for multiple formats, cool new art in the borderless version, and then City of Brass. It's a good reprint. It's a $20 land. It sees play in older formats. It sees play in some Commander decks. Although I am a little sad about this one because we need Mana Confluence more. Mana Confluence, essentially the same exact card. The difference is Mana Confluence is more recent, so it's legal in Pioneer, and it actually does see play in Pioneer. While City of Brass is limited to Modern, Legacy, Commander, so I would have rather seen Mana Confluence in this slot. It's a little bit more expensive than City of Brass too, just to help bring down the cost of Pioneer mana bases, which we really need. So hopefully that is coming soon in one form or another. But for now, I mean, not gonna complain about a $20 rare land showing up in my Double Masters 2022 boosters. In the C tier, we got some stuff. Master of Cruelties, really sweet against the odds card, fun to build around, $7 or $8. Omniscilus Unshackled, honestly did not realize that this was like a $7 or $8 card, but a solid reprint at rare. And then Marchese of the Black Rose, dropping from rare down to mythic, a pretty popular commander, actually one of the commanders that I actually have a paper deck built around, and I don't have that many paper commander decks. Definitely going to be picking up the Richard Kane Ferguson borderless art to lead my commander deck. I love it, but I'm actually really curious what people think of this art. For me, as a longtime Magic player, maybe the most exciting part of Double Masters 2022 has been seeing all these iconic artists from the early years of Magic coming back to make art for this set, but I've also seen some newer players be like, I don't really like this art. Like, it doesn't mean anything to me. I don't care about Richard Kane Ferguson. I don't really like it. So I'm curious, what do you think about these old artists coming back to Magic? Are you a new player? Do you like the art? Do you dislike the art? Are you an old timer who, has the nostalgic feelings, remembering cards that the artist did in the early days of Magic? Let me know what you think about that in the comments. Moving into the D tier, Mathis, semi-popular commander, just above Bald. Kemble sees a bit of play in older 60 card formats. His hate for Storm decks primarily. Not one of the most popular Storm hate cards, but it does show up, especially in decks that can tutor up creatures. If you're a Collected Company deck, Court of Calling deck, this might be the best option for your deck in specific. And then Will Eat Fleege, right around the $2 range. It's a card that used to be pretty popular in Modern. There was a time where there was a little kid green-white deck that was actually built around this effect, getting the double Lord effect with a Quasali Pride Mage or other multicolor cards. Plus, if you discard it to your opponent's Liliana, you get it for free. But it's mostly been power crept out of the format. It's really, really difficult these days to play those fair mid-rangey decks. So Will Eat Fleege, now mostly a commander card, but who knows, maybe somehow, someday, it'll find its way back into older 60 card formats. In the bulk tier, Deathbringer Liege, joining a lot of its liege brethren and sisterin. Down in the bulk of Double Masters 2022, Alicia, really sweet card, although it's been reprinted a lot, so not super expensive. Judith, good for stack decks. And then Burning Tree, Emissary, and Bloodbraid Elf, both are cheap enough that they show up in the bulk tier, although the new art on the borderless versions looks spectacular, so I wanted to show it off. Finally today, checking in on the EV price spreadsheet. The big news is the EV of the box is actually up quite a bit in the last day. We were about $450 yesterday. We're back up to $511. This is in large part because of that $500 Warriors Oath. Like, let's say this goes down to $100 just for fun. That's going to drop the box EV back down to where it was before. So pretty much all of this increase is this currently $500 Mythic being added to the set, and I don't think that price is going to stick. Although Imperial Seal back up to $250, it's climbing thanks to the supply issues with Double Masters. So the EV is looking really solid. You can see we're almost to the end of spoiler season. We got 90% of the Mythics. We got almost 90% of the rares. The EV, discounting everything that hasn't been previewed yet, valuing that at 0, is actually up to 450. So odds are this is going to meet in the middle somewhere, 475, maybe it gets up to 500, depending on how valuable these last 4 Mythics are and the last handful of rares are. But all this to say, the EV of the set's going to be really, really solid. The bad news is the set's selling out. We talked about this yesterday. I was trying to find boxes today. I can't find boxes for under $350, maybe a couple that are like $330 or something, but I really can't find many boxes for under $350 at this point. Maybe you can find some on eBay or something for like $330 in that range, but it was only a couple of days ago boxes were plentiful around $250. So we've seen box prices really, really spike up, and now I don't really know if it's worth it. At $250, I think the set's probably worth it. Even if you run bad, you should get enough good stuff to get your money back. At $350, I'm a little bit scared because as we've talked about throughout spoiler season, look at the variance in this set. The average rare value, 608. The median rare value, 225. The average mythic value, 42. The median mythic value down to 19. What this means is there's going to be bad boxes. There's going to be bad opens. Some boxes are going to be absurd and you're going to hit $1,000 worth of card and do a little happy dance. Other boxes, you're going to crack a couple $100 worth of value because you end up hitting all the Lord of Extinctions and Aminatus and Nicole Bolases instead of the Imperial Seals and Renin 6s and Mana Vaults and Warrior's Oath. So, I don't know. That's where we're at today. A little bit disappointed that prices have gone up so much on sealed product. I feel like, and I'm really hoping that maybe Wizards prints more of the set. Traditionally with master sets, they do one print run and that's it forever. Maybe they'll put more out there and get the box prices down, because if they don't, I'm a little worried, not just about people cracking boxes. I don't really care about that. I want to crack a box just for fun because I enjoy it, but I'm worried about the prices of singles. We already see Imperial Seal. It was $100. Now it's back up to $250 during preview season. This is before the set is even released. So I'm a little worried that if supply is as limited as it looks and places are really sold out and we don't get another print run, the prices of these singles is not going to drop nearly as much as we want them to and need them to for Commander players and Modern players and Legacy players and everyone who's trying to get their hands on these cards and play Magic. So fingers crossed something changes that gets the box price down. But for now, honestly, from an EV perspective, even at $350 a box, on average, you're going to make out pretty well at current prices, and I expect that this number will hold once we see the full set. Prices still hopefully will start adjusting down. They haven't dropped as much as I was hoping yet because of those supply issues. But again, if you are thinking about gambling on a box, just keep in mind the variance is going to be super high. So anyway, that's our daily Double Masters 2022 spoilers for today. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll be back tomorrow with more Double Masters 2022 spoilers. So until then, have a spectacular day, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, help us out by clicking that like button down below. And to keep up on all the latest and greatest, click that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that bell icon to get alerts whenever we have new videos. And if you want to, check out some of our other sweet videos here and here.